I knew the laughter wasn't just casual. It had weight. The kind that slices through skin and pride alike. It was a Friday night, the kind of night that should have been easy. My wife Claire and I were at dinner with some of her colleagues. The table was full of professionals, accountants, marketing managers, people who measured success in titles and tailored suits. I wasn't one of them. "So Daniel," one of them asked between sips of wine, "you're still doing that app thing?" Before I could answer, Claire chuckled. "Oh, his big idea? Yeah, he's been at it for 3 years. I call it our very own imaginary startup." The table erupted in laughter. My throat went dry. I forced a smile, though my heart hammered painfully against my ribs. It's not imaginary," I said softly. "I'm almost done with the beta version." But no one was listening. Claire was still laughing. She used to believe in me. Back when we lived in our tiny one-bedroom apartment and she'd bring me coffee at 2 a.m. while I coded. She'd say, "One day we'll look back at these nights and smile." Somewhere along the line, that faith turned into mockery. That night on the drive home, I said nothing. The silence between us felt like a frozen lake. Beautiful but ready to crack. Finally, she sighed. "Daniel, don't take it so seriously. It was just a joke." I gripped the steering wheel tighter. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone, Claire." She turned toward the window. "Maybe if you had something to show after 3 years, there wouldn't be anything to laugh about." The words hit harder than I expected. I didn't reply. I just drove, each mile taking me further away from the man I used to be, hopeful, driven, in love. The next morning I found her scrolling through her phone, smiling at something. I tried to ignore it, but the way her expression softened, like the way she used to look at me, made something twist in my gut. "Who's that?" I asked. She locked her phone immediately. "No one. Just a friend from work." The word friend carried a new kind of chill. Days turned into weeks. Claire became distant, her laughter now reserved for her phone. We ate dinners in silence, our conversations limited to bills and groceries. One night I came home early from the co-working space. The lights were dim, her phone buzzed on the counter, and a message preview flashed. "Can't wait to see you again tonight, Redheart, Brian." My heart stopped. Brian, her boss. I stared at the message for what felt like an eternity before placing the phone back exactly where it was. My hands trembled, not from anger yet, but from disbelief. When she came home later, smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't mine, I asked her how work was. She smiled and said, "Busy but good." I smiled back. "That's nice." That night I didn't sleep. I opened my laptop and stared at the app I'd been building for years. The project that she mocked, that everyone dismissed. Something inside me shifted. Maybe I couldn't fix her betrayal, but I could control my success. For the next 6 months I worked in silence. Every ounce of heartbreak became fuel. Every memory of her laughter at my expense hardened into focus. I slept 3 hours a night, ate whatever I could afford, sold my car for server costs. Then one morning it happened. A small tech blog picked up my app. A week later a venture firm called. They loved the concept. Within a month, I signed a deal worth more money than I'd ever seen in my life. My app, Connective, a simple platform for small businesses, was suddenly everywhere. And just like that, I was no longer the man people laughed at. Claire found out through Facebook. She called me that same evening. "Daniel." Her voice was soft, hesitant. "I saw the news. Congratulations. I always knew you'd make it." I almost laughed. "Did you?" She went quiet. "Can we talk? Please. Maybe dinner like old times." Old times. I could still see the reflection of her phone that night, Brian's name lighting up the screen. But something inside me wanted to see her. Not out of love, but closure. "Sure," I said. "Dinner sounds good." She chose an upscale restaurant, the same kind she used to take me to with her colleagues back when I was the joke. When she walked in, she looked stunning. Elegant, polished, the kind of beauty that once made me forget every worry. "Daniel," she said, smiling. "You look different. Success changes people, I guess." She laughed softly. "You deserve it. Really." We ordered. We talked. She told me about how things with Brian didn't work out. She said she made mistakes, that she'd been lost. "I didn't appreciate what I had," she said, eyes glistening. "You were trying to build something for us and I mocked you. I was stupid." Her hand reached across the table. Can we start over? For a moment I just looked at her. The same eyes that once looked at me with love, then with pity, now with longing. I'm not angry anymore, I said quietly. But I can't forget. She blinked. Daniel. I leaned back. You mocked my dreams when I needed your faith. You laughed when I failed and you left when things got hard. I built this without you, not to prove you wrong, but because I had to survive after you broke me. Tears welled in her eyes. I know, and I'm sorry. I just want to make things right. I smiled sadly. Claire, you can't rebuild what you burned down. When the check came, I placed my black company card on the table. She froze when she saw the logo. You're the CEO? She whispered. I am. Her lips parted, maybe to say something: apology, admiration, regret. I'll never know. Because I stood up, smiled faintly and said, Take care of yourself, Claire. And I walked out. A year later, Connective hit a global milestone. Investors called me a visionary. Journalists wanted interviews. But success didn't feel like revenge, it felt like freedom. I moved into a modest house overlooking the city. Sometimes when the night was quiet, I'd think about Claire. Not with anger, but with a strange sort of gratitude. Because her mockery taught me something no encouragement ever could. That validation means nothing if it comes from the wrong person. Last month I got an email from her. I saw your interview. You look happy. I'm glad you made it. Maybe in another life we could have made it together. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I hit reply and typed. In another life maybe. But in this one, you were the reason I had to find my own way. Then I pressed send. I closed my laptop, leaned back and looked out at the city lights. Each one a reminder of every sleepless night, every humiliation, every broken piece I had to rebuild on my own. And for the first time in years I smiled, not out of pride but peace. Because I realized that some betrayals aren't just endings. They're beginnings in disguise.